in, and I am just tweeting out the YouTube link real quick because sometimes this Twitter link freezes. And I'm going to try to pull this up on Twitter so I can read the comments because it's annoying because now that they're like either Periscope is separate now or whatever, like they don't show up on the screen, which is super annoying. So we will work on that. But anyways, Europa slate today, Europa Conference League slate today. 8 games. I think we're just going to run down all of these games. Cool. Pretty straightforward. I'm really excited for this slate. And I didn't see any of Brad's picks before this game. But I love Brad's picks. We have a lot of similar picks. I think everybody will enjoy that. And Garrett joining us, of course. He's got 3 solid plays today. Garrett, how are you today?
What's up, brother? I'm good, man.
The MLS king down there.
Yo, MLS has been fire lately. It's been fun. Europa, not so much. So I'm hoping that coming onto here, we can turn it around, you know?
Yeah. Hey, not to brag, I did hit Dallas and both teams to score like plus 350 last week.
Yeah.
So I was on top of the world for like one play, 1 half unit play. But yeah. All right. So you guys, we have all these games lined up. So the first one, Europa League, Leipzig versus Atalanta. Aggregate is 1-1, and we actually all have picks for this game. Actually, every single one of us have a pick for this game. I'm just going to start us off with Garrett. Garrett's got both teams to score in this game. What are you thinking here?
No, I've got the I'm on the over 2.5. I just ate the juice with it because. Yeah, this is a very square play, and I just couldn't get myself off of it. There was no way. With Zapata being back for Atalanta, whether he starts or not, he's still a weapon they haven't had for most of the season. And then Nkunku, that dude's just ridiculous. Yeah. I think between the two of them, they could cover this alone. So you had all the talent on both sides, and there was no way I'm not playing the over here. So I ate the juice on the 2.5. I don't feel like playing even like the half, like the 2.75 or anything like that. I think I got it minus 140. So yeah, over 2.5, minus 140. That's what I'm on here.
Yeah, I do like this, and I think Brad is on the exact same page with you at this game.
Yeah, I'm on the over here. I mean, like, we already know that Atalanta is going to have their chances. They're going to dominate the possession. And I said this on Twitter, and I wholeheartedly believe this. Leipzig are one of the best counterattack teams. And Garrett mentioned it. It's driven by Nkunku. He's literally on fire right now. It's fluid, and they when they get chances, they capitalize on them. So, I mean, seeing 3 or 4 goals here by either team is not a stretch out of the realm of possibilities. I didn't want to play both teams to score on over 2.5, only because it terrifies me that one team could literally win 3-0.
Yeah, and I'm on the same page too, because I'm actually on the first half over in this game, but in a parlay that we'll get to later. So I actually played this game a little differently than you guys. I do like this. Atalanta minus 0.5 corners. I feel like I actually should have played this a little bit heavier than over 9.5 corners. At minus 120. I mean, they've done this at home in every single game. I think except for one Serie A game at home in their last 15. I mean, it's just a very, very high hit rate for them. Even against Bayer Leverkusen earlier in Europa League, they lost a corner battle there 10-5, went home and won 8-1 in the corner battle. I also really do like the over on corners for this because I think Atalanta should get 6, 7, maybe 8 corners. Their team total is only at 4.5, minus 130. I think that's a good look too. But I think Leipzig definitely are going to be able to get a few corners in this game, especially if Atalanta score first. And so that's why I'm just going to play it safe and just take the over on the corners as well. But I like this. And then at the bottom of the screen, I'll put up all the plays that we're on for this. But yeah, that's kind of how I see this game going.
I love your corners look. I would also even consider taking minus 1.5 in the corner market. I don't think Leipzig are going to get the lion's share. Like we talked about, Atalanta should dominate this handicap.
Yeah. I think this handicap, honestly, I should play it a little bit heavier, but We're going to keep it there for now. Simple. I've got a lot of plays today. I absolutely love this slate. So next game, let's get into it here. So West Ham versus Lyon, aggregate also 1-1. I guess I'll start us off this time. I'll start us off with this. I think this is the sneakiest over of the entire day. I'm playing it for 1.5 units. I almost played it for 2 units, but I'm going to have another half unit play on this game. But I think this is a sneaky over. I really do. And I hit this game right on the head in leg one. And I really like Lyon in this game. I think they should score twice, and I think West Ham should score in this game. That's why I'm also playing Lyon -1 just to save my bacon if this game somehow is 2-0, right? And on the same side as me, I think Garrett agrees. I think Garrett thinks this game could be 2-0 Lyon. He's playing Lyon team total over 1.5. Garrett, what are your thoughts there?
So I like Lyon to score 2. I am hesitant to bet that Lyon wins because that's just the kind of team they are. They could absolutely give up 2 to West Ham, and we're 2-2 extra time. And I just didn't want to deal with it. But so I actually took a little. I think the money line was like plus 120 something last night when I took this, and I actually took the team total and like lost 6 or 7 cents. I got it at plus 112 as cover for that scenario. But I do think Lyon scored 2. West Ham center back injuries have been like the story of their season. Zuma is now out for the season, it looks like, with an ankle injury, I believe. And so Cresswell is also suspended. Like this is just a spot where I think West Ham are going to have to score to stay in it. And because of that, I think Lyon has to score at least 2 to win it. So them being home, I do like Lyon to advance here. I think this is just a really nice spot for them to move on. After holding West Ham to a 1-1 draw in London, granted, West Ham was down to 10 for the second half. But even in that first half before the red card, West Ham's expected goal total was like 0.26, and and Lyon was like 1.06. Like they still dominated that first half as far as chances of scoring. So I really like Lyon here, and I'm just taking the over 1.5 just because I can't wholeheartedly trust them to win outright.
Yeah, and I think Brad is kind of on the same page as both of us as well with West Ham scoring in this game. Both teams score -135. I feel like we're all on the same page for this.
Oh yeah.
The reason I'm playing Lyon -1 is because I think they should win this game 2-1. I think this is a straightforward 2-1 win. But if they do win this game 2-1, I save my own bacon on that over 2.5 by playing this -1 at plus 225 for half a unit.
I like the price you're getting on -1. No doubt. Like
I do. I agree. I think this is a great price, especially because I don't really want to play this for a unit at, plus 120 or whatever the money line is currently at. I'd rather just toss, if they win this game, there's a good chance they win by more than 1, right?
Yep.
So I'm just going to toss half unit, -1, big plus money. We'll see what happens. And let's keep moving here. We got a few games to go through. Next one, Braga Rangers, aggregate, Braga 1. Rangers 0, and I think this game opens up early. I think the Rangers are going to be firing on all cylinders in this game, and that's why I'm taking their team total over 5.5 corners -115 for 1.5 units. And Brad is taking the exact same thing for 2 units. Dead on. It sounds like we're thinking the exact same thing here. And I know leg 1 was 1-0, but that game is in Portugal. Okay, That is not an easy place to score. They're playing in Scotland. I think this game opens up. I think this game definitely could go over today. But I love this price on the first half over 1 at -102, basically even. I'm playing that for a full unit.
Yeah, no, dude. I was so glad when I saw your plays, and I was like, "Whoa, we're on the exact same play." You said it. This game is going to be open, and Rangers are one of those teams who are different home and away. They attack different. They stylistically they're different. This is a team that's averaging 7.5, about 7.5, 7.8 corners per home match, and the splits between home and away are drastically different. Braga know they're going to have to come with it, and they're going to have to open the game up too because you're not keeping Rangers out, which is why I love your first half over too.
Yeah.
And I live by the rule: fade Portugal when not in Portugal. So I think Rangers are going to control this game and have the pace. And corners are just their thing. Like
Garrett, you froze up. All right, anyways, we'll move on to the next game.
Yeah.
He was talking about how much you like the corners play, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, Conference League, Leicester Leicester, excuse my French there, at PSV, aggregate 0-0, very exciting fixture. And Brad is straight up going for both teams to score in this game.
Yeah, I was gonna try to get cute. Like I was gonna try so get cute and figure out a different play where I wouldn't have to suck the juice here. But Leicester City all season have only kept one clean sheet on the road. Their splits home and away are drastically different. They have improved defensively a lot, but I don't think it's enough to keep out a PSV team twice. Even in that first leg, it was the most open 0-0 tie that I think I've ever seen. And I think that getting both teams to score at minus 150 is a little bit of a gift. If you think about it, look at Slavia. Their price is minus 190, and I think it's equal opportunity for both teams in both games. I think the price should be the exact same. So we're getting a pretty good price on minus 150.
Yeah, and excuse me, just kind of switching around
No, you're good.
the banners and whatnot here. Garrett is having some technical difficulties, so we're working around those. Anyhow, let me go up. I actually have a play on this, and this is just a lean for me. That's why I'm only playing a half unit. I have 2 leans today that I'm too scared to play for a full unit, but I think like Leicester should cover this. I think that I think this is probably a 1-1 game. I think this is probably a 1-1 game. That's just how I see it. I don't know, but I'm a little bit scared, so I'm only playing it for half a unit. So that's what we're playing. 1 unit, both teams score, half unit. Leicester, double chance, and I know you lean that way as well.
I do,
so.
yeah. I was going back and forth on that all night last night. It's just going to be hard for PSV to score enough and keep Leicester out enough, and we might get a little Jamie Vardy action this week, which they desperately need.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, moving on here to Conference League, we have Bodo at Roma, aggregate Bodo 2, Roma 1. And I have to admit, this is probably my favorite game of the entire day. I absolutely love this game. And let me add Garrett back real quick. Forgive me, guys.
No, you're good.
Quick TV timeout here.
Man.
If it'll let me scroll down. There we go. Now we're back.
Oh, yeah.
Garrett, it's good to have you back. Now I'm kind of freezing up. It's just one of those mornings, I suppose. All right, so we're on Bodo. I'm taking 2 units straight up. Bodo plus 1.5, minus 130. I love Bodo. Today. I mean, look, they've covered this in all 3 games against Roma. Why can't they do it a third time? Why not? I like them to score in this game. I just like Bodo in this game. I think that they're playing for more than Roma. That's how I feel about it. And I do have a parlay, 1 unit, plus 161. Atalanta versus Leipzig, first half over 1. We talked about that earlier. And Roma/Bodo, first half over 1 as well. This first half over is juiced. It was really juiced. I got it last night, and it was minus 180. So Atalanta-Leipzig is like minus 145. Roma-Bodo, I think I got it like minus 180, which is super juiced. And Brad and Garrett actually had the same exact play. They're both going for both teams to score in this one. Brad taking it for 2 units. Brad, what's your take on this one?
Yeah, listen, Bodo have one of the longest standing unbeaten streaks in soccer, and they haven't scored in like 1 out of like 35 matches. It's ridiculous. You said it. Roma have a lot on their plate mentally. They're battling for European play for next season, and they aren't looking particularly great defensively. I mean, throughout the season,
their midfield has tremendous holes right now.
Yes, and so I don't think Roma get shut out at home. And we know Bodo are a talented, very, very talented team. You can see glimpses of it about last year, middle of the year, and now they're finally putting it together. I wouldn't be shocked to see Bodo win this match.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Obviously because I took plus 1.5 for 2 units. But Garrett, what do you think about this matchup today?
I always question it when I get like a juice 3, but both teams to score is very playable. And my issue here is like, when has Roma proved they can keep Bodo out of the net? I mean, these are teams that met in group stage. Like, they're not brand new to each other. This is going to be the fourth time they've seen each other, and both teams to score has hit every time, including 2 the last time Bodo was in Rome. So I don't get it. I don't get it. So if you're going to give me the both teams to score, I got it at minus 115. I just checked. It's looking like it's like minus 120 right now. I will take that all day as opposed to the over. Like that's just the both teams to score to me feels like the much safer play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I agree with that. Anyways, it sounds like we've kind of been on the same page for like most of these games. Like we have very similar thoughts going into these games. And another one that we're probably going to disagree on, but this is the one game today I don't have action on. It is Marseille at PAOK, aggregate 2, Marseille 2, PAOK 1. I'm going to say something about this game because we only have one play on this, and it's Brad, and it's a parlay, which goes into our last game, which is my biggest game of the day by far. So I'm just going to kind of try to breeze over this one real quick, unless somebody has something particular they want to say. But Marseille team total over 1.5 is plus 140. I see a lot of people taking that. The only thing I'm going to say is that I don't bet against Greek teams when they play in Greece. I just don't. I just don't do it. As a bettor, as a gambler, I just don't do it. However, I do like both teams to score in that game. And if I were to take something, that's what I would play in that one personally. And I think Brad's going to kind of agree with me here. His play is 1 unit, 2-leg parlay, Slavia Prague, both teams to score, Marseille, draw no bet, which brings us into the biggest game of the day, Feyenoord, yes. Slavia Prague. 3-3 aggregate, and I went absolutely nuts on this game. But Brad, go ahead, talk about why you like both teams to score in this game to kick us off here.
Look, this has hit in every single game they've played together. Both teams play open, and both have finishing quality in their front lines. I took Sora last time to score, and I'm pretty sure his price is going to be around plus 290 as well. This is going to be a fast-paced, open games. Both teams, I wouldn't say they're bad defensively. I just think that their offensive tactics leave them vulnerable for the other team to build against them. And you're telling me, you're giving me what I took both teams to score. It was minus 190. Wasn't playable by itself. So you give me Marseille, draw no bet. You said Marseille and Greece. Yeah, I think Marseille, if they get up 1-0, they pack it in because they have PSG. They have PSG on the weekend. So it's a good opportunity to kind of escape with that 1-0 win, which cashes the plus 157. I'm also on corners. Slavia Prague's corners team total over 5.5.
Yep.
This is it in just about every single home game this season. And like I said before, when you have very talented players on the wings, and those are the most talent that you have, even if they run 3 up front or they run the double striker, they're going to play a lot on the wings, which gives them a lot of opportunities for deflections and shots out wide, which lead to corners.
Yeah, and the funniest part about you being on corners for this game is that I am also on corners for this game. But what's funny is that we have these same 2 exact corner team totals, Rangers and Slavia Prague, but you played Rangers at 2 units. I played it at 1.5. This one, I played for 2 units and you played for 1.5. So we kind of flipped there, which is interesting. I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, I absolutely love it. You hit it right on the head. I total agreement with you there. And I went nuts on this game. I have 1.5 units on Slavia Prague to qualify, minus 102. Frankly, I just think they are the much better team. They have been making me a lot of money betting on them in this tournament. And I'm going to continue to bet on them, especially when they're at home. Another play that's been making me a lot of money for Slavia Prague is cards. And I've taken this and it's hit in 3 of their 4 games, if I'm not mistaken. It hit in leg 1 for me, and I think I actually got it at 4.5 as well in a parlay last leg as well. But at plus 130, I love this. And a play that could cancel each other out also at minus 130 here. I'm taking the over 2.75. Just makes sense. Both teams to score and over 2.5 is written all over this game. I think Prague probably gets it done 3-1. So yeah, I have a lot of action on this game.
I'm a big fan on Prague to advance here. I love a good home dog, and I'm with you on this Prague match and just in general. I like them to advance. A 2-1 would not surprise me. I think the 3 is a sharp total here, just for me personally. But I
Yeah,
do like
that is why I did buy it down to 2.75 because
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I think it's definitely could push it 3. And that's kind of why I admire Brad for taking the both teams to score in a parlay. I think that's very smart. So
And to go
I
back
think that's a good way to play it.
to Marseille for a second, I think to Brad's point, I think this is a nice under spot at 2.5. With them having PSG, this could be a 0-0. This could be a 1-0 Marseille win, like Brad said. I don't like to. I live by the same rule you have, Matt, where it's like I said, I fade Portugal outside of Portugal. I don't fade Greece when they're in Greece. I don't enjoy that. But this is an under spot for sure. So I like where your heads are at in both those matches.
Yeah, I think that's It's hard to argue.
Oh yeah.
Kind of hard to argue that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We've got a lot of action on these games today. I cannot believe I have action on 7 of 8 games today.
Oh yeah.
I have way more action than I had in like one. But Europa and Conference League are just like my bread and butter. This is my favorite thing to bet on in all of sports, Europa League.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
I know you hate it. I absolutely love it. So, any more thoughts on these games? I guess we can run these down one more time.
Yeah, no, I
So
didn't
we got
take
the
anything on Barca. I stayed away from there.
What'd you say?
I stayed away from Barca. We didn't cover that game. I didn't want to touch it.
Oh crap! You know what? I didn't put that game up, did I? Or I must have totally skipped it because it's up here. Because I actually do have action on that game. I might be absolutely crazy for taking it. Wow, did I really skip that game? No, I didn't. Yeah, I somehow skipped it. But yeah, I do have half unit. Barcelona, Frankfurt under 3, aggregate 1-1. People are probably going to hate that pick. And I kind of hate it myself because I'm normally a auto bet Frankfurt, both teams to score an over 2.5 like every week in Bundesliga. So I kind of want to slap myself for taking this, but it's a lean, half a unit. Anybody else have thoughts on this game?
I prefer the under here as opposed to the over. I actually would be fine with the under 3.5 in a parlay. I think you get a pretty good parlay price with that.
What's weird about this game, I love goal scorer markets, is this is the lowest price Ferran Torres has been all Europa. And I don't know what that's telling me. Like, it's not giving me any information from the game.
Yeah. Okay, so somebody said they have Barca win and over 1.5. I am just so hesitant to bet on Barcelona in this tournament after what happened to them last round. They've been playing great in La Liga, don't get me wrong, but I'm still hesitant to bet on them in this tournament. Like they just scare me as a team overall. And I like Frankfurt. I enjoy watching them play. Like I don't really have any desire to bet against them today. I hope Frankfurt beats Barcelona, to be quite honest. I don't really care, but yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that game. But yeah, let's run these down one time real quick. This is the first game of the day at Atlanta versus Leipzig at Atlanta. Garrett has both teams to score. Brad has over 2.5. I have over 9.5 corners and at Atlanta minus 0.5 corners.
I've got the over 2.5. You can't get the both teams to score at that price.
Okay, so you have the over now?
No, I've always had the over 2.5. You just read it wrong.
I'm so sorry. Garrett is on the over 2.5, everybody. All right, one mistake on this. It's not too bad. All right, Barcelona, Frankfurt. I'm on half a unit on the under 3, just a lean from me. And then a big game for us, Lyon, West Ham. Garrett, half unit, Lyon, team total over 1.5. Brad is on both teams to score. I have 1.5 units on the over 2.5 and half unit on Lyon -1 plus 225. Then we have Braga at the Rangers. Brad has 2 units on the Rangers team total over 5.5 corners. I have 1.5 units on the same play. And then I have 1 unit on the first half over 1 -102. We have Leicester at PSV. Brad has both teams to score. I have half unit on Leicester plus 0.5 in that one. Another big game for us. Garrett, half unit on Bodo, Roma, both teams to score. I have 2 units on Bodo plus 1.5. And I have a 2-leg parlay on Atalanta Leipzig, first half over 1, Roma Bodo, first half over 1. And Brad also has both teams to score in that game for 2 units. And we have Marseille at PAOK, Slavia Prague, both teams to score / Marseille draw no bet on a 1-unit parlay for Brad, plus 157. And the last game of the day, which is going to be a mouthful of picks from me. I'm sorry. 1.5 units for Brad on over 4.5 corners for Slavia Prague. I have 2 units on that same corner play. 1.5 units on Prague to qualify. 1 unit on over 5.5 bookings plus 130, and 1 unit on the total over 2.75 minus 130. So that's it, boys. That's it.
Yeah.
That was a long rundown. Let's see if we have any questions. Of all the games, which one do I like most? Slavia Prague, in my opinion, is going to be it should be the most fun game today. And there definitely could be a red card in it, which is always exciting.
Yeah.
It's
my favorite
hopefully
game as
it's
well.
not Prague that get the red card. I pray. But we'll see what happens. I like it. I also like this Lyon West Ham game today. I think
That was
those are
going to be
probably
mine. Lyon West Ham is probably my favorite game today.
Yeah. And what about you? No Atalanta Leipzig has been said yet.
That match terrifies me.
Oh, Bodo Roma. Oh man, I love that game too. Sorry, I'm just venting off here.
No, you're good.
There's some great games today.
There
I'm
are.
excited. So, all right, fellas. Any final thoughts here as we close out?
Let's win some freaking money.
Let's do it.
Please, Europa.
I'm down. Dude, please. And honestly, we're like all on like the same thing, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like pretty much, we're all going the same. Like we all agree on the same way. We all are pretty sharp. It's very sharp that we have 2 of the exact same corner props. I think those are both very sharp plays today. Prediction on Roma, Bodo plus 1.5, and both teams to score is what we're playing on that game. But yeah, I love it. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. And best of luck. Hopefully we'll do it again next